Wow! Hello, everybody. Welcome to another reading of the upcoming patch and maintenance notes for November 27th, 7 a.m. Central European Time. This will be for tomorrow's patch on November 27th, guys. So we're just gonna do a quick read through. I saw some big changes when I was reading this at work earlier, but as always, we'll just cover it in a video format for the people who enjoy that. Offer some thoughts here, and then if you have anything that you want to discuss, you can always reach out to me on Discord or on stream. Just tag me, man. That's what I'm here for. So, upcoming patch and maintenance planned for November 27th at 7 a.m. Fellows, thank you all so much for your continued feedback. We wanted to give you all a heads up that Fellowship will be going to scheduled weekly maintenance tomorrow. Same time as always, 7 a.m. Central European Time. This maintenance is for us to release a patch that will bring bug fixes, balancing improvements for heroes and dungeons, and more. Scrolling down here, patch notes. As we approach December and are getting very close to the Eternal Queue, the team is directing more focus on the winter update on the 11th of December and ensuring the larger upcoming additions and changes are ready for that. UI. Updated the reward screen to highlight the next available but not yet activated nodes after receiving feedback that it was unclear visually. Okay, interesting. Oh, on the reward screen. Okay, like the constellation map. Okay. Updated several loading screen tooltips to reflect the changes to dungeon scoring. Progression. This is a really big one I saw earlier. Due to the recent weeks of balance tuning to heroes and dungeons, we are making some adjustments to the scaling of enemies in Eternal. This is partly to prepare for the Eternal queue and to solidify the current state of balancing as we direct more focus towards the patch on the 11th of December. So, Eternal enemy scaling has been reduced slightly. On Eternal 5, enemy damage and health has been reduced by 0.5%. On Eternal 10, enemy damage and health reduced by 1.2%. Eternal 20, enemy damage and health reduced by 2%. Eternal 40, enemy damage and health reduced by 4.6%. Sorry for yawning. Whew. Eternal 50. This one looks huge. I'm wondering where this number came from, but Eternal 50 enemy damage and health reduced by 17%. I'm assuming they just want to see like how much further we can keep pushing. So I'm all for it. Then we have some hero balancing adjustments. First up is Alarian. So Heartseeker Barrage damage reduced by 10.7%. Multi-shot now deals reduced damage beyond 12 targets, was 15. This is still positive from last week because previously we were like at 8 targets. Same thing here with Starfall Volley. Now deals reduced damage beyond 12 targets, was 15. And the impending Heartseeker talent now increases the damage of each consecutive era of Heartseeker Barrage by 10%, was 15%. This is just a revert from Friday's patch where it was buffed up. So my current thoughts on this is it just puts Highwind Arrow and Heartseeker Barrage much closer to each other. Previously, you like Barrage got double buffed, and so you would just play Barrage build. Now they're much closer in line, and so as always, play what you prefer, and that's how I feel about that. Mara, the Feed the Queen talent now increases the damage of your next Queen's Fang by 9% per stack, was 10%, and stacks up to 5 times, was 6 times. I heard this was for dealing with her AoE. Some Tariq changes. The damage of Hammerstorm has been increased by 7%. The Square Hammer talent now increases the damage by 20% per stack, was 16%. And the tooltip has been updated to the correct value, was previously incorrectly stating 30%. Okay. The buff when triggering the Schism talent is now shown on the important hero buffs bar. That's nice. The icon of the Schism talent proc has been changed to instead show the Skullcrusher or Hammerstorm icon, depending on which one is empowered. Due to... Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. Due to performance issues, Newman now heals no more than often than every 1 second. It accumulates the same healing amount as before this change. Okay, so that's good. Rhyme, some buffs here it looks like. The damage of Ice Comet has been increased by 5%. The damage of Bursting Ice has been increased by 5%. The damage of Coalescing Frost has been increased by 10%. This change is not reflected in the tooltips until our next localization update. Okay. Due to performance issues, Tundra Guard now heals no more often than every 1 second. Okay, nice. Same thing from Numa. Some Mako changes. Um, some buffs here, it looks like. The damage of Stone Shield has been increased by 5%. Lashing Storm Kick now deals reduced damage beyond 8 targets, so a little buff to Mako. Ardios changes. The damage of Searing Blaze has been increased by 7%. The damage of Fireball has been increased by 6.7%. Nice. Vigor, wow, some damage buffs for him. The damage of Soul Brand has been increased by 6%. The damage of Radiant Blast has been increased by 7%. And the damage of Dawnbreaker Orb has been increased by 10%, so nice. A bug fix here, I'm glad that this was addressed. Heart of Tuzari 2-set bonus, Dark Prophecy, no longer scales the proc per minute with haste. The Dark Prophecy set granted you haste, but that proc was hasted. So even though it had like a whatever, like a 0.9 ppm scaling or something, now it was scaling faster depending on your haste. So this has been fixed. Ooh, okay, some weapon trait changes. Let's look at this. Sapphire Aura Stone has been redesigned. The Aura Stone spawns next to your target and now accumulates 7, 8, 9, 10% of all damage you do for 3 seconds upon spawning, and then pulses that amount out as damage on all nearby enemies. The pulse empties the accumulated damage. This repeats for a total of 3 pulses every 3 seconds over its duration. This repeats for a total of 3 pulses every 3 seconds over its duration. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Previously, yeah, Sapphire Aura Stone used to spawn near you. So, nice change here. Healing function is the same as damage, but the first pulse occurs after a 2-second delay with 3 seconds between each pulse. I wonder how this will... I'm really wondering how this will go. The tooltip in game is showing the incorrect accumulation percentages. This will be updated in our next localization round. Okay. Diamond Strike now has a separate proc per minute for its damage and healing procs, so that one does not steal procs from the other. Okay. I wonder if this fixes it. On AoE, it was pretty bad before. Diamond Strike now also gains increasing proc per minute value for each rank it is upgraded. Was a flat proc per minute value on all ranks. Okay. Emerald Judgment looks like a... Oh, okay, nice. Emerald Judgment got just a straight up damage increase, so it's now 6, 700, 800, 900 instead of 5, 6, 7, 8. Kindling got a big fix here. Kindling now has a separate proc per minute for its damage and healing procs, so that one does not steal procs from the other. Previously, you could not play Kindling on Carnage maps because it would just heal, which was really bad for us. I keep I keep yawning. I'm so sorry. Too much oxygen, maybe. Grounded Spirit now gains a stack every 1 second you stand still. Was every 1.5 seconds. Okay. I don't know of anybody playing this. I'm not saying it's bad. I think Grounded Spirit was an expertise one, right? Stalwart Readiness now gains a stack every 7 seconds in combat. Was every 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure this was a damage reduction talent where it stacks up like to 8 stacks or something. And then it removes a stack when you take damage, so that's interesting. The expertise gained from Patient Soul has been increased by 20%. Okay, I don't know what that one is off the top of my head, but yeah. Curses. This one looks really big. The damage dealt by Binding Ice has been reduced by 50%, so we'll take less damage from Binding Ice. Enemies now take double damage from Binding Ice, and enemies are now stunned for 2 seconds when taking damage from Binding Ice. So this is like huge for Binding Ice. I mean, Binding Ice was not necessarily a key killer, but you definitely had to be like really mindful. Like even when I was doing like 47 Sailor's Abyss, like you had to just be mindful about where this goes. Anyway, dungeons. We're making an overall adjustment to most enemies and bosses throughout the game with the intent to slightly reduce the amount of time spent fighting bosses and moving that time over to the other enemies in each dungeon. We are happy with the health pools of the larger enemies, so we are putting more emphasis on bringing up enemies with smaller health pools. All enemy health has been increased by between 0% to 15%. The lower health they have, the larger relative increase in health they have gained. And then here's an example. When Cithral's Fall, the Ice Shardling's health has been increased by 11.3%, while the Eldrin Sentinel's health has been increased by 1.16%. And finally, the Arcane Scholar's health has not been increased, 0%. Okay, nice. We have not increased the health of Shackle Shot Chains. Everdrawn Grove Totems, Empyrean Sand Orbs are similar unless listed below. Oh, nice. Okay, so the spawn stuff is good. The spirit point value of most bosses has been increased by 50%. The largest contributor to spirit point generation boss encounters was previously due to passive spirit point gain over time. We increased the amount generated from dealing damage to bosses to increase the active contribution. There are a few exceptions to the above due to some bosses having had higher spirit point values than intended. The exceptions are listed below. I mean, this in combination with the progression change here, I mean, it just seems like it's like an easy way. Like we're definitely breaking into the 60s next week, if not 70 and 80. I'm very curious to see where that goes. Any changes to health mentioned in the below list of tuning changes are manual adjustments where we saw a need for it. The changes listed below are instead the above mentioned global adjustments. So I'm not going to read all of this unless I see something crazy going on. Some boss health reductions in Sithrul's Fall on the Golem boss and Commander Noor. Sithrul's health has also been reduced by 7%, so all the bosses in there lost some health. Heart of Tuzari, all the bosses' health pools were reduced. Wraithtide Vault, First Mate Maro. Deathless Katrine spirit point value was already high due to having 2 lives and was reduced in this patch to be in line with the other bosses. Okay. Oh man, Bale Orm's health has been reduced by 7%. Like so 7% health reduction in Wraithtide across the board. Bodir Kaldor's spirit point value was high and has now been reduced slightly to match other bosses. But health reduction in that health reduction on bosses there. Godfall Quarry. Ooh, interesting. Dredge's throw stone ability now properly blocks their auto attack while casting and for a short duration after the cast has been completed. Yeah, previously they could throw stone at the tank and then auto him, and your tank was taking like giga amounts of damage from like pulling too many dredges in your pack. So that's a nice change. Taskmaster kill score and spirit point value has been increased by 100%. Wow. Okay. Ori Stalker kill score and spirit point value has been reduced. Nazari Bolter kill score and spirit power has been reduced. Godfall Wardstone kill score and spirit point value has been reduced. Godfall Titan's health has been reduced by 9%. Love that. Everdon Grove, that boss's health has been reduced again. And the looks like Outrunner Bullet Throw damage has been reduced again, which is nice. Love that. I was doing like some 50 markets and some 47 markets, and like the Bullet Throw is still doing like a ton of damage. Anyway, um, Urrak markets, Bullet Throw damage reduced, Drazzle the Flesh Broker's health reduced, Drazzle the Flesh Broker's spirit point value has been reduced, Slave Trader Brule's health has been reduced. Drazzle and Brule were generating more spirit points previously than intended and have now been adjusted to be in line with this new increased value. Silken Hollow, Rotheart Recluse health was not adjusted, okay, but the last boss's health was reduced by 7%. Sailor's Abyss, interesting change here. Hollowed Corsair health reduced by 15%. Vengeful Shade health reduced by 20%. Oh my gosh, that's so big. Like Vengeful Shades are like part of the hardest thing of like doing packs in there with the curses, so huge change there. Last boss's health reduced by 2%. Wormheart Frozen Remnant health has been reduced by 20%, and Apostate Varus health has been reduced by 4%. I'm wondering if reducing the health pool of Frozen Remnants is opening up different routes there. Stormwatch, the boss's health was reduced by 5%, and then Empyrean Sands, let's see. Sandsworn Husk base attack speed has been reduced by 15%, and the last boss's health was reduced by 9%. So kind of big change there too. I was hoping for some adjustments on the orbs, but honestly, this is really good. So, anyways, we'll see these changes going live at 1 a.m. It's going to be about let me do math. Less than 10 hours from the time that this video goes up. So, look forward to that. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, but maybe I'll put a video or two out, and I'll see everybody in fellowship. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them, and have a good one.